complaining about cliffhangers and stuff. It's not hard for me to pass the time. In fact, as Mom had told Nick, I liked being home alone. After Robbie left, I worked for a while on my stamp collection. Then I went out to admire Mom's bike, pedalless, but still sleek and shining as a Lamborghini. Inside the house, the phone rang. It was Robbie. "Everything okay?" he asked. "Sure, everything's okay." "Well, it may not be for long. I just saw Angelica Trotter, and she was on her bike heading in the direction of your house." "My house?" "Your street, anyway. She was turning your corner." "You're kidding."
Mr. Reinhardt, would you please send Lucy to the office? Mom's here to pick her up for the day.
Okie dokie. We'll do it. I stared around the kitchen as if somehow Angelica Trotter might have been snuck in and hidden herself under the table. "But why?" I asked. "How long ago did you see her?" "About 2 minutes. She ought to be just about riding up your front drive now." Oh, criminy. The panic was back, full gale force. "She wouldn't come here, would she, Robbie? I mean, I didn't forget any of my books and school's out and..." "You should let her in if she comes," Robbie said. "I would." "I bet you wouldn't. What would you talk about?" "I'd think of something. I'd ask how come her eyebrows grow so much." "Ha! You're such a liar. Anyway, it's too late for her to come. It's..." "What do you mean late? It's only 20 after 4. "That's all? Man, I thought..." 20 after 4 was a long way from 8. The doorbell rang. I swear I could hear Robbie breathing. "It's her," he said. "Let her in. Call me back. Maybe she has the mistletoe." Click. And he hung up the phone. "Bye, Lucy." "Robbie?" I begged, but he was gone. Now I could hear me breathing. I tiptoed into the living room and pulled back a corner of the drape. If Angelica was out there, I hoped she wouldn't see the drape move because I was just going to pretend there was no one home. Nick stood on the porch in his khaki shorts and red cougar sweatshirt. I was so glad to see him. I even smiled and said hi when I opened the door. He looked surprised, but then he smiled back right away. "Where's your key?" I asked, remembering quickly that he and I are definitely not close buddies. "I knew you were here," Nick said. "You don't think I just walk in on you, do you? I mean, a guy needs his privacy." His eyes still smiled at me, and real friendly. "Anyway, I've ordered a pizza to be delivered for 6 o'clock. Extra large, no anchovies. You want to come and help me eat it?" What was this? Be nice to Caroline's boy? "Thanks," I said, "but I have leftovers that I have to use. Good leftovers." I added. It really bugged me that he knew I hate anchovies. Mom must have told him that along with everything else. Talk about a guy's privacy. Or he just guessed. Maybe everybody in the world hates anchovies. Whatever. Nick didn't seem disappointed. "I'm going to cut the grass now, so it'll look good for Christmas." "Okay, I'll open the garage door for you." I went back into the house and through to the garage and pushed the wall button that lifts the heavy door. The center light came on automatically too, the way it does. I watched while Nick wheeled out the mower, filled the tank with gas, and started the motor. I really couldn't understand why I suddenly had the urge to grab a rake and go work with him. If he were my dad, that's what I would do. It would be nice cutting the grass in neat little strips, stopping to horse around a bit, throw grass at each other, stuff like that. I dropped the sheet over Mom's bike and left the door open so Nick could put the mower back when he finished. That wasn't till after 6. The pizza van came, and I saw Nick take the big white box and run up the stairs and back down with the money for the delivery guy. I watched him put the mower away and heard the door hiss closed. I took the meatloaf from the fridge. It seemed to have shrunk. Had we really eaten so much last night? Robbie says in his house things shrink overnight because his dad likes to sneak out of bed for a midnight snack. Mom doesn't do that. I don't either. I was still staring at the meatloaf when the phone rang. "Is Angelica still there?" Robbie whispered. She didn't come. Shoot. I thought you'd have great things to tell me. "Yeah, sure," I said sarcastically. You sound in a great mood, Robbie said. Ah, you're disappointed, that's what. You're bummed out because you like Angelica Trotter and she didn't come. I am not. He was still saying, Angelica Trotter, Angelica Trotter, Angelica Trotter, as I banged down the phone. Good grief. It was 7 o'clock. Pretty soon Mom would be home, and I'd been okay. Not nervous about being alone or anything. Big deal. Well, it was a big deal considering the missing key thing. Of course, Nick had been outside just about the whole time. Did he and Mom arrange that? Had he told her about yesterday and how he'd had to search the house because I thought I heard something? And then last night he had told Mom, don't worry, Caroline, I'll be right there outside where he can see me. Nah, Mom would know I'd hate that. I waited to eat till she came home, and then we watched TV for a while and went to bed early. If Mom noticed that I took the blackthorn stick with me, she didn't say. Something wakened me in the night. I didn't think it was a noise because I can sleep through anything. I even slept through one of our earthquakes once. Or I would have if Dad hadn't scooped me up. I remember everything tilting around us the way he'd staggered and that I'd laughed. I lay in bed wondering, what could have wakened me now? It must have been a dream. I couldn't remember dreaming, but my heart was suddenly doing that loud, bumpy thing again. I sat up and listened to the silence. Nothing. My room wasn't that dark, and I could see all its comfortable, familiar outlines. I knew I should get up and check around the house, but I didn't want to. I should at least look in Mom's room and make sure she was okay. I reached under the bed for the stick and went barefoot from my room. Mom sleeps with her door slightly open. I pushed it wider and peered in. Her mini blinds were half raised, the window partway open. It's fixed so the opening's too small for anyone to take off the screen and crawl in. By the paleness of the moonlight, I could see her in the bed, the dark spread of her hair across the pillow. I checked the front door. It was locked, with the chain safely in place. The back door to the garage was locked. The stick felt good, heavy and knobby in my hand as I switched on lights and went room to room. Nobody there. Except for Mom and me, the house was empty. I went back to bed and tried to remember what dream I'd had that had woken me up and set me off like that. My feet were so cold I had to get back out and grab some socks and put them on to warm up. Sometime later, still listening, I fell asleep. The patter of Mom's shower woke me up in the morning, and by the time I'd yawned my way into the kitchen and she had coffee made was dressed for work. I meant to be up early, I said, rubbing my eyes. I meant to fix your breakfast. Mom dropped a kiss on the top of my head. I heard you in the bathroom last night, she said. Yeah, I was up, I said uneasily. If I told her about that night prowling, she'd be sure to have me go next door today or, heaven forbid, arrange something with our famous paying tenant. Don't forget we have a date tonight, she said. You're meeting me after work. Are you kidding? I wouldn't forget. What else are you doing, Marcus? Robbie and I are going along Lake Avenue. It's the Merchant's Christmas Fair with all those free cookies and punch and stuff. Good. And if you need anything, you can run next door. For a minute, I thought she was going to add, or up to Nick's, but our eyes met and she didn't say anything. After she left, I sat thinking. It was funny that she'd heard me last night when I'd been so quiet, and that she'd thought she'd heard me in the bathroom when I hadn't been in the bathroom at all.